Hello everyone and welcome to day 2. We are doing the top row today, but obviously we start with a little test. So they seem to have a few paragraphs that they rotate through. I think it's fine. It will be fun to see how much further I can get in the 2 minutes that I have. I can see that the tests are not particularly tricky. I mean, we have a few numbers. Symbols are basic ones. We'll see how it goes. Let's just move forward to the result. So the results, they're not particularly surprising. I am still firmly below average. The speed is a little faster, but honestly it's just the second day, so I can't really say it's a trend. We've increased our speed by X%. Then I did the drills. As you can see, I moved the camera, that way it's not hiding part of my screen. I'll see if I can tweak the position a little bit better. But looking at the drills themselves, I will confess, I hate the two-letter drills. I think my brain is trying to predict the pattern, and then of course it's wrong and I get completely flustered, and then it's kind of game over. So let's move forward to the drills with actual words. Now these feel a lot easier, even though I still make mistakes, but at least I can use backspace. Though I was wondering, should I try to not use backspace at all, go really nice and slow to hit perfect accuracy and then build up speed? That's what most videos would recommend. But also it takes so long. I don't know, what do you think, guys? The other thing that I found difficult was when we came to the Q and the P. The keys. The P in particular, like pinkies, my pinkies are weak and not nimble. I don't use them too much, I suppose. And for the letter P it's even worse because I'm left-handed, so it's quite sad. I was wondering if I should actually try to strengthen my pinky, try to train them to be more nimble. Maybe not, I don't know. Finally, later on I was going through another word drill and I felt I did very poorly. I was not happy with it, but they still gave me 4 stars for it. So I am wondering if maybe the requirements to get those stars, to do, you know, very well, maybe even perfectly well, I wonder if they're not too low, too easy. Later on in the course you have drills and you have to hit 30 words per minute, so maybe that's better. We'll see once we've covered the keyboard. After that I moved on to playing the game, and by then I had a different kind of problem, like a completely different problem. I found that I was tired, nervous, I don't know, it was I was maybe 20 minutes in of typing, making mistake, getting flustered, starting over, and I suspect I just lack the stamina, which could be a reason why when I try to put in practice the little bit of touch typing that I had learned, after a few minutes it was too much effort, I guess. Which leads me to worry about the fact that the little drills I've done before, well, they're little. It's like a couple of minutes tops. So that's something I'll see, you know, as we progress, if it's something I want to correct and find something a bit longer. Anyway, back to the game. I was really quite tired. I was hitting the keys wrong all the time, but we did win the scenario, so there's that. One final thing that I wanted to mention is not important. And those are the results. Starting tomorrow I will add the accuracy from the game. I think that could be an interesting metric. We do have some improvement, but obviously 2 days is not enough to decide on a trend, so I guess we'll see tomorrow. Welcome to day 3. Day 3 is all about the bottom row, but first I need you to be my witness as I type 3-3. You saw it? I don't know, there was a bug. It wasn't me, I don't think. Was it my keyboard or the website? It was really weird. Typing a second 3 would give me a space. Typing a third 3 would finally give me a 3 after the space. Long story short, I had to restart. The second time round went fine. I could type my numbers properly. There were mistakes, as you can see on screen. Moving on to the results, it was a 32 word per minute. So same as yesterday really, but we are somewhat slightly above average. Very promising as we go to the bottom row. I did not enjoy that at all. That's the one I've practiced the least, so that makes sense. It went mostly fine up to the moment we got to the slash and the question mark. And I should have a little parenthesis to explain the setup on my keyboard. I type in English most of the time, but I teach French, and so I need the French characters as well. For the longest time I would switch between my QWERTY keyboard and AZERTY keyboard, had stickers for the French characters on my keyboard. But since I got a very pretty keyboard now that I really like, and I was able to change the layout, I did so, but then I must have forgotten to keep the slash. Essentially my question mark, whether I press shift or not, is a question mark, so I had to go and get the slash way up there on top of my numpad. I decided to not repeat the exercise to get better results. I figured I'll have to change the layout of my keyboard or never use the slash. After that it was a little more fun because we were typing proper sentences and they doubled up as tips for touch typing, so that was kind of interesting. I decided to finish the whole first part of the course that covers the bottom row but also some practice, including some of it. And since I had covered most of the keyboard, I looked at the stats from the Ed Typing Club. I guess you could say they are encouraging. There's a little bit of progress. After that I played the game. The next scenario was quite similar to what we had before. You gather gold through your mines and your farms, you build units, you collect buildings, and you dominate the map. It was actually quite fun because I knew what was happening. The results at the end gave me another 92% accuracy, which I'm quite happy with. Let's move on to the results of the day. Not much to say here, it's exactly the same as yesterday. Day 4. Day 4 is the day where we're supposed to work on speed. The test is fine, but the results, as you'll see, they're a bit disappointing. They're the same. Now I know it's only been a few days and I've only practiced for about 30 minutes every day, so I shouldn't expect great results. So ignoring the results, the very stable result, I move on to start the drills. And I'm hyped because today we're not getting any nonsense series of letters. We get words, the words make sentences, the sentences make a paragraph, and I'm feeling pretty good about the whole thing until I make my first mistake. But then I make a chilling discovery. The scores can be higher than 3,000. And there I was thinking that 3,000 was the highest score possible. Very quickly through my mind I'm thinking, oh, should I go back? Should I try to make sure I have at least 3,000 or more than 3,000? I try to not think about it too much, but you can tell when I'm typing that I'm doing more thinking and less focusing on what's happening. We go on to the end of the drill and move on to the game. I can tell I'm getting tired, but it's time for the game. The scenario is pretty much similar to the previous one and there isn't much to say other than my accuracy went slightly up from 92 to 93, so that was good. Adding the results into the table though sinks in the feeling that I am not progressing, and I decide that I should probably practice longer, maybe twice as much. Looking at the Ed Club results, well, it's the same thing, we're just stagnating. And then I look at the course and I see the icon that says perfect score. My task for today is clear. I need to ace every lesson before I move on to the next lesson. Some 30 minutes later, I practiced this advanced level 1, which sounds a bit like an oxymoron, but never mind. I did practice and I felt I was doing well. I definitely was hitting the speed goal. I had 100% accuracy once I corrected things, but that was not enough. So I thought, okay, maybe it's because I'm using backspace and that takes away from the perfect score. So I did one more. I took my time, I focused really hard, and I managed to do that one short text perfectly. And as you can see, that is still not enough. I'm glad I got the extra practice in, but currently I cannot get the perfect score. I guess I would need to be a lot faster for it. I'm not sure. Day 5 is the dreaded shift key. While doing the test, I decided that really 2 minutes was just not enough to keep track of the progress. It's a good, quick way to get an idea of where you're at, but I feel I want something a little more reliable. So starting next week, I'll try the 5-minute test, see how that feels, and take it from there. Looking at the results, I guess it's a little encouraging because we do have a slight improvement. I've also been thinking about how I do these, where my eyes keep going from the text I'm copying to what I'm typing. I think maybe I should try to only look at the text I'm copying and trust that I am pressing the right keys. I suspect that way my accuracy will probably go down because I will make mistakes, but I will make a greater effort to place my fingers properly. So that's also something that I want to try next week. Now the drills, they were pretty painful because of my weak and awkward pinkies. I see it now, the way I press that shift key is kind of weird, and I didn't always do it like that. Anyway, I went through the whole series of the ba, da, ku, ki, z. Like, I did everything. It was not particularly fun. I will be honest, I was not trying to get particularly high score and to be perfect. I was simply going through the drills. I did the first 5 drills, paragraph drills, but as you can see there's more of them. I'll get back to them. I think that will be my practice over the weekend. I am, by the way, recording this paragraph drill practice as a separate video that I'm uploading as an ASMR video, so you might want to check that out. Then it was time to play the game. It was actually a different sort of scenario, which was fun. Once I understood what I was supposed to do, we have those caravans that follow the path, and if I type trucks, I don't think I do it now, but I'll be able to decide where I want my caravans to go. The caravans reach some checkpoints where you can collect the goods, but only when the caravans are there. From time to time you have enemies that appear. You can see the one that's going to appear up there. If you lose too many of your caravans, that is how you collect the goods, when the caravan is there. If you lose too many of the caravans, you lose. If you successfully export a certain number of those caravans, you win. The typing was not too intense, I would say. It's just, it took me a while to realize that this is only half of the map. So I thought I was, managing things pretty well. when you collect the goods from the caravans through this right here, you get money, and then if I go to Norm, then I can instantly, I think it was pretty instantly recruit more units. Otherwise you get a couple of horses, I mean cavalry units at the beginning with a new caravan. There isn't a lot more to say about that. Let's fast forward to the accuracy though. We're staying at 92 accuracy, it's fine. I'll be happy if it doesn't go down. I suspect as the game becomes more hectic, it's likely to drop quite a bit. From my own little graph, well, word per minute has increased slightly. Maybe more interestingly, the Ed Typing Club results show a little bit of progress, I would say. Today was worse, that's because we introduced the shift key. Next week it will be a lot more paragraph drills, and I will spend more time playing the games. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week for another update.